Good morning. Today I have the pleasure of meeting with Sir Mahender Dubba, who is the Managing Director of Advanced Auto Parts, a rapidly growing global capability center in Hyderabad. So, Mahender, nice to meet with you again. And before we get into the questions we have to ask, I thought for the benefit of our audience, if you could share a little bit about Advanced Auto Parts. I see a very nice T-shirt, but it'd be useful to walk in through the journey of Advanced Auto Parts and also some context about when you set up in India and how progress over the last few years in India.
Thank you. First of all, it's a privilege to be here in a nice campus in the T-Hub at Hyderabad. Advanced Auto Parts is a 90 years old company, even though we are kind of a new in India and Hyderabad, but it's a pretty established lot of history behind the Advanced Auto Parts. We started our journey in India just before the COVID hit. In fact, I call internally we are a COVID baby. We grew in COVID times. We were born here on January 6th with 5 employees, including myself. And since then, we kind of growing rapidly in a sense, the kind of capabilities we built, the kind of delivery we are doing, the kind of skills, the talent, the diversity we brought into the organization is phenomenal in spite of the COVID. So predominantly we focus in IT and finance area and kind of helping drive the company business transformation and technology transformation. We build some of the capabilities here, from the ground up and continue to evolve. We work as one global organization. I feel like 4 years is just 1 year. That's how we were busy, and that's how me and the leadership and the whole employee base is excited about the journey at Advance.
So you're saying the journey has been a very eventful, interesting, and you've been able to scale very quickly.
Absolutely. And to me, the measurement is not about the numbers, it's measurement about how we are able to contribute to the business, how we are able to become agile, how we are able to work as a one team, one culture. That's been a fascinating journey, especially for a company like Advance, which never had any presence outside of North America. So working in a different time zone, different culture, and different continent has been a fascinating journey, both for the employees here and in US.
So I just to build on what you said two functions, IT and finance. Just want to get some perspective in terms of IT, right? I guess there's normally a mix of the kind of work you're doing. One is what you might call keep the lights on type of work, and the other would be more cutting edge, something which is truly transformative type of thing. So could you share with us perspective on the kind of work and how that the work has kind of evolved over the last 4 years?
Yeah, in fact, actually, we do not do any kind of lights on operations. We are more of a core engineering organization. From IT perspective, we work on digital transformation, we work on business transformation, we work on building the new capabilities for the company. As I said, we are one engineering organization, and we do support in terms of ensuring that the solutions we develop at the center, along with our global partners, when we deploy in production, we support them and stabilize them. But the focus for this organization is more on building the capabilities and leveraging emerging technologies and automating the stuff and providing the self-services and really building new capabilities to ensure that Advance has the right part at the right time at the right location. That's kind of a mantra.
So you mentioned emerging and advanced tech. What are broadly of some of the domains in which you have built and are building?
Yeah, we have built, again, as a global organization, we built across the board on the data side of it, pricing side of it, cloud side of it, and even we are kind of building accounting capabilities and building, B2B, B2C. I wouldn't kind of narrow down to one or two. As I said, advanced India is no different than the advanced US. That's how we kind of look at it. Is the only difference, if I can call it out, is we are in a different continent, different time zone. But in terms of culture, the kind of work we do, how we prioritize the work, how we strategize the work, everything is global and as a one team. So it's across the board. And that's one of the reasons why we set up the center. Is the company was going through a major transformation not only on the business side, IT side, but also on the digital side. And that was a perfect time for us, the center, to be set up. And that's one of the reasons why the center is set up, because before that it was a lot of the IP was with the contractors, and we couldn't get the skills at the scale that we wanted. And that's when our leadership looked at how India could be leveraged in this situation. And that's what now we are. We have the talent and the IP within Advance employees.
So, Mahender, picking up on what you just said, right, about insourcing versus outsourcing, etc. And if you wanted to pick, your thoughts on, you said, the work you're able to do now is obviously much more cutting edge because it's much more closely aligned to the business, and people who are in the business, can work with you much closer. So what I thought it may be good at this point of time for you to kind of lay out some of the success stories, right? Like been a 4-year journey, and I'm sure there are many successful things which have been probably done for the first time, which have given Advance Auto a real competitive edge in the market, and also in line with this thing about being available all the time, everywhere, in line with what you said. So share some thoughts with us on how that's happened.
Yeah, I think, with Advance having the center in India, what really helping is that now we can work 7/24. So as I said, we have one global strategy, one global team. So we were able to kind of say that, okay, here is the work we are getting done, and we have a project team which span across multiple locations. So our agility and speed is much more. And we are able to kind of transition to, location to location. And by the time the next day morning, when our counterparts in the US, the team has worked here. So our ability to do the projects and deliver the results is much more agile than, if I go back in Advance history, 5-6 years back. I think that's definitely adding a value for us. And also in terms of, as I said, there are a lot of areas where we didn't have the capability at the level we wanted because we couldn't get those kind of skills and capabilities back in US. Now we are able to do that in India, given the Indian talent and even the partnership we have with the universities and able to hire from there. And many GCCs was established before us. So there is enough talent pool, across GCCs that we are able to get. So that kind of not only able to do the projects, but also able to understand the culture and able to really get closer to the business and ask the questions and understand what the requirements are and able to really translate that into solutions. One of the things also, we are very excited to see in this 4 years journey. The first 2 years, we kind of focused on building the teams and the capabilities for the company. But the last 2 years, we are also kind of changing the gear a little bit to drive more innovation, changing the innovation mindset of our employees. Because, innovation is now on the agenda for every company. And that is what is the real differentiator. If you're really looking 5 years, 10 years from now, is how you are able to really think outside the box how you are able to really challenge the status quo, how you are able to automate it, how you are able to self-service, how you are able to really make it easy and simple for our customers and also the internal team members within the company. I think that's the mind shift we are kind of focusing apart from delivering the core engineering capabilities. And I know you have come to our site last year and really talked to the team. Similarly, we have brought in some of the industry leaders from this part of the world, and including some of the startups, and talk to our team members, really energize them. I think that kind of a thought process really helping, and our team members are able to, kind of step up and challenge whatever we are building.
So you said agility, you said 24/7, you said talent,
Yeah.
you said innovation culture, innovation mindset, right? Great
Yeah.
point. Great point. Okay. No, Mahinder, just taking a slight deviation from talking about things beyond advanced auto, and you've been around in GCCs for a very long time, right? More than 15 years plus in the GCC ecosystem, and you've seen it evolve from small beginnings to where it is today, right? As someone who's actively involved as part of the community, right? Two things which I wanted to get your feedback on. A is your thoughts on how the evolution has happened, in terms of how they started and where they are today. And second is, as we go forward, if I would ask you to look at a crystal ball and say 5 years out, right, overall in the GCC ecosystem, what do you see some of the trends, which you see, right, from where they started, 15, 20 years back to to now and the future.
Thank you. Glad for asking this question. As you said, I have overall 32 years of experience in the industry. And out of that 32, 15 years is roughly in GCCs, because 2009 is when I moved to India and started working in companies like Microsoft for the 10 years and then Advanced Auto Parts for the last 4+ years. But before 2009, I spent 20 years in US. And I did work with India and the companies which were established here, but I see a significant shift, not only in the models, but in terms of the capabilities, what India has developed over the last 2 decades especially. If you really look at, 30, 40 years back, India is known for, BPO operations, or having back-end office work, or, eventually it kind of evolved into, hey, let's do more of operations plus follow the sun. Because, companies wanted to have the people who can work.
So level 0, level 1.
Level 0, level 1, and then even they got into some talent where, if there is a production issues, but also you want to do some engineering work, they started evolving. But I think the last 20 years, I would say, the shift has happened. The companies, many of the GCC companies have realized it's not only about the back office work and 7/24 or operational work. It's more how do you leverage the talent, the skills at a scale, right? That skill and scale, it's not easy to do it in any city in India, but given our ecosystem and that volume, we can do it. And also I saw that, our young engineering talent graduates are more adaptable in terms of learning. I could see in 1990s, everybody was like focused on the mainframe. And you see tons of talent was focusing and able to really help the organizations. Then the e-commerce bubble came. And you saw that how the talent quickly adapted to that. And I see the similar trends with emerging technologies like AI, IoT, and cloud and everything. I think we have that in our culture to how we can adapt to the changing needs. So, talking about the GCC's journey, I see continuous evolution. Now GCCs are coming not for cost. Before I said, they used to come for 7 by 24 back office and even the cost. But I think if you really look at last 10 years, if you ask many of the GCs, they will tell you it is again for the talent. They are coming for the talent. What also has transpired in the last 30 plus years is the IT talent and even other areas, the talent has now got the global experience, working with companies outside of India. So the culture they learn. And now I see abundance of leadership skills also, along with the technical skills. Now you can find those skills in India. And last 4 or 5 years, what I see the trend from GCCs also, not only they're setting up the centers here for their transformation and the capabilities, but also they are empowering and having some global leaders run out of India. Example, I'll give you my own example. I started the Center for Advanced Auto Parts the last 4 years, and since last 1 year, now I am the global leader for corporate IT systems. I sit here, I have the team here in India and in US, and I run those IT corporate systems, business needs sitting from here. And I see that kind of examples a lot more. Not only that, I see some C-level executives who are part of the leadership in India are able to sit here and work. And, CFOs, CIOs, infrastructure leads, even business leaders like e-commerce leaders, FP&A leaders, and even, the new emerging technologies, AI, you see, a lot of that is coming to India. So to me, I think we may be using GCC as a generic name, but to me, honestly speaking, there is no difference between a center in US and in India, because that's how these GCCs are becoming, where you have the leaders, you have the empowerment, you have the accountability, and you are able to drive the company strategy.
So just building on this, right? You talked about talent, and you talked about how more and more initiatives are being driven from here, etc. Right? And you're also setting the agenda in a manner of speaking, as opposed to just working on instructional mode, where people here come up with new concepts, new ideas, and new projects, so on. So building on that, question was around how are you leveraging the innovation ecosystem in Hyderabad? I know you work with a lot of universities. We've engaged with you at T-Hub for a while. I just wanted you to walk us through a little bit of that journey. How has it been? And, how do you see that shaping up as in the times ahead?
Yeah, I think as an industry, overall GCC, I see, GCCs are becoming a platform where they drive the global innovation for the company. And they are the one I see now running the hackathons. They are the one who are working with T-Hub or working with academia or even with the startups to see what are those opportunities. Innovation, some you could do internally within your team, some you partner with like T-Hub and startups to really expedite your agility in terms of innovation. I see that the trend is more and more that startup is becoming very critical part of the innovation, especially from a GCC perspective. I mean, the number itself speaks, as you know, that we have over 900 startups in the last 1 year. And in the last 10 years, 30,000 plus startups. I remember when I moved in 2009, I haven't heard. I used to be only startup means either you go to Bay Area or you go to Israel. But now I see, I don't have to look beyond India to see, who do I go and solve some business challenge. So we are experimenting internally some. We have done some POCs. But I think, what I see is the trend, definitely the T-Hub and startup ecosystem would drive that for us. But also I see that a lot of the talent who work in GCCs, and they are now getting the experience and working with the business, understanding the business challenges. They are also energized. I've seen in my experience last 15 years, both in Microsoft and Advance, people are developing the entrepreneur skills. In some of them, even going out and starting up their own startups.
So you are building entrepreneurs and then entrepreneurs.
Yeah. So that is also helping us, because when you come with entrepreneurial mindset, then you ask the right things, you challenge the right things. I think that's what I think, the GCCs are becoming very critical part of innovation for the company, not just, within the center here.
Mahender, as a innovation leader and someone who's been such an integral part of the ecosystem, and with specific reference to GCCs, a lot has happened. Many positive elements have emerged, etc. But are there other things which we now need to kind of double down on and put a lot more energy on, so that we continue to build on this very strong foundation which has been laid? Are there any 2 or 3 elements you can suggest to us which there needs maybe a little bit more focus from all the players in the ecosystem, government, incubation elements like us, academia, etc., where we need to do a little more, to make it even a much more better and more enriching?
That's a great question. No matter how much you do, this space continues to evolve. It's not like you reach a nirvana state. So as the time comes, you continue to evolve. At this point of time, I see a few areas where we can really help the overall industry, especially from India and GCC context standpoint. I think we have a very good talent pool coming out of from good institutes, tier 1, but there may be an opportunity as an industry together for tier 2, tier 3. How do we enable that? How do we make them corporate ready? How do we ensure that their curriculum, their projects, what they do, is industry ready? If I look at today, I do spend quite a bit of time, anywhere from 2 to 3 months, before I put the talent in my projects, that I need to train them. I need to make sure they understand the concept. So I think NASCOM, T-Hub, I think if we can partner with institutes, especially, I don't see that much on the tier 1 kind of it, because they are doing that. They are driving a lot of innovation and emerging technologies. They're able to do it. But tier 2, tier 3 is the ones. And also those institutes who are beyond the major metros. I think that's where I see the opportunity for us to do. And the second area, what I would say is, I think T-Hub is already doing is, I don't think all of the corporates are well equipped in terms of what kind of innovation is happening with the startup ecosystems. What are the things which are already implemented? What are the things which are, under development? What are the things, MVP is there, but you could customize it and make it ready or work on your particular business need. I think that awareness we can continue to improve on it. It is getting better if I look at the last 3-4 years of journey, it is obviously getting better at it. I think that's one of the reasons why, we at Advance, part of the T-Hub membership is the access that we get. And every time when we come and visit here, we are inspired. Our leadership, whenever they visit from US, also inspired that, how we are able to bring all that under one umbrella. In fact, I think I heard that somebody was talking about you telling that, hey, Hyderabad is known for biryani and Charminar. Now it's known for T-Hub. Whoever comes to Hyderabad,
We are the new Charminar.
yeah, we are the new Charminar kind of thing. So I see that internally also, that every time a leader comes, they heard about T-Hub. So which is a good brand reputation. I think, as I said, there are a couple of areas where we can take it to the next level, which would have even far more impact. I think especially emerging technologies that we can enable this tier 2, tier 3 will go a long way, because unlike, when I studied 30, 40 years back, the subjects, the syllabus, the chapters, the content did not change for years, right? But I see now the trend is changing. I see that even the tier 2 colleges, tier 3 colleges doing AI, data science, data engineering, which is a good thing. The only thing I see the missing is, they have the academic, but they do not have the hands-on
It's
experience,
practical
the
industry.
real world, corporate world kind of experience. So we need to figure out how do we do that. I know that's one of the things we are doing is having MOUs with some of the colleges and doing the internship. So some cases we bring them 2 times for internship. So when they do 2 times internship, they already kind of learn. So when they come and join us, they're almost ready,
Mahinder, I think thank you for a really fascinating conversation. I think we covered a lot of ground. We covered the journey of Advanced Auto, how Advanced Auto itself has evolved over the last 4 years, how you are leveraging the innovation ecosystem. You shared thoughts with us on the overall GCC landscape and how you see it evolving. So it's been a really fascinating conversation. I'd like to thank you for your time, and look forward to building on the engagement between Advanced Auto and T-Hub, and look forward to your coming in and continuing to inspire our startups and our students in the journey ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garu. It's very fortunate to be in city of Hyderabad, where the largest innovation campus is here. I know that really helps us to drive the innovation agenda, and we are definitely looking forward in partnering with you. As I said, we are a very young GCC here, and coming years we continue to this partnership and go to the next level. Thank you.